Okay, so welcome everybody, and thank you for coming, everybody around the world, all the photographers and those we've just had a little chat with. Thanks for attending. Now, I know there's something a lot more important than this happening at this moment as we speak, especially for all those who are in the States. Donald Trump is giving a live chat, his normal chat from the Rose Garden. So thank you for giving us preference over the president. You've gone a bit quiet, Warren, but that's all right. We'll continue moving.
I'm in the US.
You're in the US, yeah. We'll continue moving forward. And and
it's all good. It's very quiet here.
Very quiet, yeah. It's quiet everywhere, all around the world. So thanks for showing up today, as I say, wherever you are. Really appreciate it. And what Warren and I did a couple of weeks ago, we did a previous a webinar which was recorded, and we made some suggestions of what photographers could be doing at this point in time to progress their businesses forward and to give them some really good actions that when we do get through this, that will really get the business going. And Warren, in that webinar, said that he wants to be, when he's on the starting line, he wants his engine really well tuned, and he's revving the engine and he's ready to go. That's right, Warren, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, for me, you've got all this time that you didn't plan to have at the beginning of the year. So you can kind of get on with all those things you've been planning to and hoping to do. There's no reason why you shouldn't be like fully ready to get going as soon as you're able to open those doors again.
Yeah, and probably you didn't catch it last time, but we'll just refresh you about why I invited Warren. Besides, he's a good guy, and besides, he's one of my clients and has been for over 2 years. Warren had some problems he went through fairly recently. Can you just briefly go through them, Warren?
Yeah, I've got a rare genetic condition where I had to end up having a couple of brain surgeries and chemo and all that kind of good stuff for about a year. I'm in the remission part of it now, which is awesome. But what I did during my chemo period was I opened up a studio. I thought, it'd be really kind of like cool, cathartic kind of thing to do. Just kind of like do a build out.
Pick the right time, yeah.
Yeah. And then once I got it all kind of, once I got my studio all kind of fitted out, I realized that there was crickets playing, it was basically empty. And, that's when I found yourself, Bernie, and, the rest is history. But yeah, it was a really interesting time. It kind of proved to me that, given extreme situations, I was still able to go and function. I still did my weddings. I still made sure, I had really strong second shooters with me.
Right.
And I just found that I had a lot of strength when I thought I wouldn't. So what I'm doing now is trying to like tap into that, how I felt back then, to try and kind of carry me through these next few months. Because we don't know what's going to happen, and I didn't know what was going to happen to me, when I was going through all of that. I didn't know if I was going to survive. And,
besides all that trauma of having those brain operations and having chemotherapy, and also the bills were mounting, you went into debt, you lost your house.
Yeah, it gives me chills to think about it. I mean, yeah, debt was over 100K. So it's been my mission, my sole purpose, actually, to pay that off. And I'm pretty close. I was getting pretty close to finishing that. And then, of course, a global pandemic started. So, I've got a pretty good excuse that I'm not able to meet my target. Yeah. But I literally would have been finishing that this month, actually. So, selling my house and selling an old car and just really kind of living a very minimal life, actually has made me a lot stronger, I believe.
Yeah, and I think a lot of businesses will come out of it. They'll be a lot more structured. They'll strip down the excess fat, so to speak, and will be a lot more smooth operation. They'll learn new processes, etc. And
Right.
just before this happened, you're doing particularly well. I visited you for 2 or 3 days. We got everything right. We were really excited, and then slowly but surely the pandemic took over, and bang. It was just slow, and now we have to look at the fact that we're in hibernation. I like to call it. I like to think of hibernation.
It really is.
Yeah.
You know,
so
if you're a wedding photographer, it's very much similar to a seasonal situation. I always used to think I'm going to go into hibernation a little bit during the winter season, with weddings, because really your peaks are like spring and late summer into the fall, particularly on the east coast of America. So you always have to kind of like squirrel away some money to carry you through those months.
Yeah.
And I really feel as though we're in that situation now. Yeah.
So let's refresh just a little bit of the last webinar we did a couple of weeks ago, and then we'll move forward on this list. I did a lot of investigating as a photography business coach. I thought, what am I going to do with my clients? How can I keep them motivated? What can I give them to do? Which is the important thing, giving them some actions to keep them moving forward. And I came up originally with a list of 20, and since then it's expanded to 34. And Warren and I covered about 10 of them last week. So we'll briefly go over them. Warren, I don't want to take too much time, but
sure.
Let's just briefly go over them, move forward to more actions that we've got. The first thing we talked about was working on your mindset. So we talked about that, getting your head right.
Yeah.
To chase up outstanding payments, which you've now done, or outstanding orders. So we've ticked that off. Defer the rent payments with your landlord. You've spoken to your landlord, right?
Yeah, we're getting a reduced rent.
Okay, so you're getting a reduced rent for that. So you've done that communication you need to do. Those of you out there that have commercial premises, if you haven't, you've got to talk to your landlord. And the other thing was sort out your photography gear and see what you can sell. Well, you mentioned last time we spoke that you got 14 Canon lenses, and I said, Warren, get rid of some. So what the results? What have you sold so far?
The problem is a little bit bigger than that. Actually, 14 lenses and 5 Canon bodies.
Oh, you didn't say that last time we spoke. 5 Canon bodies. My goodness.
Yeah. So I've got 3 Canon bodies on sale right now. I've sold 2 lenses. So with some sale of gear, I was able to raise just over $2,000.
So far.
And I'm selling one of my first Canon bodies tomorrow. And then I hope to sell a couple more, as we go.
And you're going to keep this going because you started selling first on eBay and that didn't work out so well. So now you're on Facebook Market.
Yeah. So I found, I don't know, anybody else agrees with me, I found eBay to be extremely frustrating. And they gave me a limit of $1,000 for my first and only sale that I could do. And I thought, well, that's not going to be good enough.
That's not good.
And I've got all this gear I want to sell, and my target is to try and do it as quickly as possible. So I put it onto Facebook Marketplace. But what I did was I photographed all the items in my studio as though I was doing a product shoot, and threw them up onto Facebook. And actually, some of the criticisms I got on Facebook was that these look like they're stock photos straight off Google. I thought, oh, that's great. This is why, I just wanted to make sure everything looked good. But I was actually able to sell the gear a lot easier by having good photographs.
Yeah.
And I was able to sell like those expensive lenses like really fast, actually.
Yeah,
like a couple of days.
Look, you've got to sell. If you've got 14, you probably only need 3 or 4, right? You've got 10 to sell, right? The average of 1,000 each, it's about 10 grand.
Well, I've got a few lenses I think I'm going to hold on to that the 7200. I know I don't need it in the studio, but if I go traveling,
But
I think I could use it for
it
personal.
wasn't just that, was it? It's just you'd got 3 laptops apparently, and you'd got other stuff. I mean, I saw a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, 5 computers actually. So I've realized that well, actually all 5 of them are really worth no money through doing some research.
Yeah.
And I wasn't using them, they were just taking up storage space. So what I've done is I've consolidated all the hard drives, all the files that I deemed somewhat important.
Yeah.
I've consolidated them all up into a 8 terabyte drive, and then just getting rid of the rest of them. And then I've gotten rid of 40 terabytes of hard drives.
Wow. And
Yeah,
you've still kept it, or threw them away, or you've still got them?
I'm gonna recycle those. Gonna take them to Best Buy actually in the US, and just get rid of all the electronics. And you know what it's doing though, is it's making me focus on what I really need.
Yeah.
So I'm not only able to get money for those items, but it's actually making the studio a lot tidier, and I'm able to find what I need a lot easier. So, you know, like I say, a little bit of time on our hands, able to kind of do this stuff, because it does take a little bit of time. But,
yeah. Well, that's fantastic. So we looked at selling any gear. We looked at selling files to our customers, previous customers. How have you gone with that so far?
really well, actually.
Yeah.
I raised, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but somewhere in the region of $2,500 just in selling files at a fairly reasonably cheap price. Clients were ecstatic to get those files, you know, so it was really a win-win. And basically that's going to cover my bills for 2 months just by doing that. So
every little helps, eh? And I was speaking to a couple of my clients. I was speaking to someone yesterday that got $20,000. Someone else got 5,700. Someone else got had only just started sending the email that I put together for you, and they'd already taken $3,000. So it's money, right? And it's also the benefit of it as well was that it was helping. You know, my clients specifically, a lot of them have MailChimp but have never used it. So it enabled them to set up MailChimp properly, to put a newsletter together, to create lists, and to know how to send an email out. So now we're going to send those regular emails out, right? At least every 3 weeks. So that's exciting. So that's a new plan going forward. So that's the good thing. And we talked about gift certificates. Again, most of the photographers who were my clients didn't have any application on their website for people to buy gift vouchers. So we've set that up. There's a great little app that we found that was easy to set up on the website and was free.
Right.
And they just took a small commission for that. We talked about as well defining the brand. Talking about really defining what you're about, what the style of photography you do, what it looks like, what your post-production looks like, and trying to nail a brand, which is quite difficult sometimes, but it takes a bit of work, but it can be done. So that's the other thing we worked on. So let's sort of keep going. We spoke a little bit about last week about, and this is number 9, about number 10 about refining your processes. So you had 4 or 5 outstanding clients that you hadn't put the albums together since 2000 and what was it, 14 or something?
14,
that's a long time. That's that's 6 years, and still hadn't sorted their album because of your bad processes. So we looked at your processes, and now it'll never happen again, right? Never will any client, will their order sit, you know, and get forgotten or whatever.
It was interesting. I mean, 2014 really was when some of the health issues started to kick in. But, you know, that had nothing to really do with it at that time. It was really just a poorly run studio in a sense, you know, in terms of the processes. You know, I just had this, I just always wanted to give my clients enough time to take care of their image selections, you know, for the albums, which is really the wrong way to do it. You know, you really need to give them some timelines, you know, and I think they really appreciated that.
Yeah. And you weren't doing that. So your processes were fairly bad. So we tightened all those up. And that was just one thing. There's a lot of other things. You know, we've got portrait processes in place now, so they're really smooth.
Right.
We know what we're doing with our marketing, etc.
Mm-hmm.
You curated your portfolio for a better presentation of your work. So you looked at your galleries. You put together some newer photographs rather than, you know, 3 or 5 year old images. That's important to do. Keep your website. And David was saying he's just finished building a new website with WordPress, and he's sorting out his SEO next during the lockdown. So there's a lot we do that helps SEO, and of course a blog is one thing. So we got photographers to start a blog and other things. That's just one thing, because Google obviously wants to see your website active. They want to see things happening on it, because if there's no activity on it, Google thinks it's dead. So they're not going to send people to a dead website. That's not what the sort of algorithms want to do. That's not very good service. So your blog to keep active, and you should blog at least as often as possible, put it that way. Once a week is fine. Once every 2 weeks is fine, but once every now and again isn't fine.
Yeah, for example, YouTube is really high on the SEO. You know, if you're able to do some YouTube videos, you want to do those at least once a week. And then I was hearing today from one of the YouTubers I follow that they will repurpose that content and then make it a blog post.
Right.
So you can just embed your YouTube video into your blog, and now you're using that in 2 places. You can keep on doing that.
Yeah.
You could even use Instagram in that way.
Yeah, well, videos are important. I mean, it's something that I've been saying to photographers to use for years. You know, we have a camera quite capable of taking great video, and it can be used for many things. Testimonials is one thing. And one of my big things was, you know, during a wedding, when you got the bride and the bridal party, and you're doing the shoot away from all the guests, whatever, and just before you go to the reception, how great is it just to set up the camera and say to the bride and groom, hey, I want to do a little video testimonial, and all you guys, bridal party there in the background, I want you to get involved. So John and Mary, I just want you to say what a fantastic day you've had, where we are, how great I've been, can't wait to see the photos, how much you're in love, and all of that. And then when you've said all that, I want you to turn around and just walk into the distance, and then ready, 1, 2, 3, go, and bang, and you get that great testimonial and that emotion.
Love it.
And it doesn't take long. What does that? You've got a 30-second testimonial, because they're at the pitch, they're at the height of their emotional. It's that moment as well that they're going to the reception. And you've got the time, and that's how long it takes. And don't be afraid to tell people to say how good you are. They want to, but they don't know. They haven't got the words. So I'll just put words in the mouth.
I really love that idea. Actually, I wish I'd
done
that.
You don't do weddings. Yeah, you don't do.
Yeah,
weddings.
I need to go back to weddings now and just do that.
That's right. Yeah, well, of course we can do it with our portrait clients. You know, as soon as they come in, or when we finish the shoot, or after they've ordered, or whenever. But there's so many opportunities we have to do those little promotional videos. And I think it should be about the clients. It shouldn't be about the photographer. Personally, I'm a little bit over, you know, photographers talking to the camera. I think they should be focusing on their customers more and getting that content out. No one really cares about the photographer, let's face it, you know. They want to know what's in it for them. What's the benefit? And if you can show others having great benefit. And those testimonials, whether it be written, whether it be video, it's all good. The thing as well with Facebook, when you put your description of the video, try and make it fairly wordy, and of course put the keywords in as you do with your blog. Find out the keywords and whack them in there. So
and you could use Rev to translate the audio into subtitles if you wanted to.
Yes, of course. So if you want to put subtitles, as Warren says, you just send them to send the video to Rev or the link, and they'll send you what file is it called? I forget, someone will know, but they'll send you the necessary file that you can just import into Facebook to give you the subtitles. So
cool.
all of that, yeah, pretty cool. We got a lot to learn, and with video, but and do it exciting, do it different. Don't do it like everybody else. We're not about doing things like everybody else, because we need to really stand out.
Yeah.
And so we've really got to present the website. We revisited the price list, of course, which we do in our normal coaching, regular visiting of the price list, putting our prices up, tweaking, introducing new products, and just seeing what people are buying, and the product in the portrait world that they're buying the most, we just keep putting the prices up. And in the wedding world, I suggest you do that too. And probably the easiest and the standard and the best methodology is to have a choice of 3 or 4 coverages. So it makes it easier to choose when you've got a choice. And we all know that they usually go in the middle or one from the top if there's 4. So we always need to do that, and don't worry too much about price. Just worry about giving your clients more perceived value. So that's what you've really got to work on, and that's all part of your branding. So they perceive they're getting more value for the money rather than just the money.
Don't make it complicated, just keep it as simple.
And don't make it complicated. I've seen some incredibly complicated wedding price lists, especially. Did my head in trying to boil it down. Don't make it easy for people to buy. And of course, order new products. There is a lot of new products out there. Now is a great time. Most manufacturers are offering 40%, 60% off. So if you want to get new displays, now's the time, very, very cheaply. So that's a good thing to do. Catch up on your anything that is outstanding, as we said, with your album or your orders, just get them out there. The other thing is about unnecessarily subscriptions. I know I've subscribed to a lot of different things, and my wife tells me when she does the books every month, what's this $19 a month? What's this $17 a month? And I go,
it's easy to do.
It's easy to do, but gee, it adds up. And if you're not using it, if you've got a subscription and you haven't used it for a couple of months, just kill it. It's a simple.
So one of the things happened when I was going through my payoff situation,
right,
is that I noticed I had a lot of luggage, like a lot of subscriptions of things that I didn't even know I was still using. They were just, they were there. And so, when you kill off a credit card, which is actually sometimes the best way to do it, and then just go to another one, you notice all these notifications coming into your inbox. We can't renew your subscription. And so, you're able to figure out, which ones you really need and which ones you don't.
Yeah, or if you can downgrade them, which reminds me, I don't need my Dropbox anymore. I must kill that. I mean, things like that. I've got an upgrade on it, and I don't need it. There was a point that I did need it. Now I don't. I can't see that I'll ever need it again. So I'm going to do that straight when we get off this. I'm going to kill that. Plus, with my newsletters, they go out via eye contact, and I've got around about 9,000 subscribers, yet mine's set for 10 to 15,000. So I'm in the higher grade. So I've got to cut that back down because I'll be saving, some money each month.
So one of the things I noticed was that a lot of these services that we sign up for, say a year, 2 years ago, they've completely changed their pricing model. And then if you renew it, kind of drop it and renew it again, you probably get a better deal. It's much like cable coverage, you know. It's
Start again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So as we've said, you know, when you've been in business for that many years, you just keep, you know, it seems like a good idea. Knee-jerk reaction, click, bang.
Yeah.
It's hard not to, but I suppose we're all looking for the magic wand, right? We see the click, yeah, it is a magic wand. Well, we're not selling any on this webinar, but we're selling inspiration and ways that you can work hard on your business, because that's what it's about. You have to really work hard on the right things, right?
Absolutely.
We also on the list here is Renovate the Studio. So if you've got a studio, whether it's a home studio or like you have, Warren, a really fantastic open space studio on a commercial premises, renovate it. And we did that when I was over. We didn't do it we did a cosmetic fix. We moved photographs around. We got some new lights, right? The spotlights you had were too yellow with the bulbs. So we got some daylight ones, and your work looks so much better, and so on. Move things around a little bit.
You know, it's really kind of, you know, before you came, I thought, I'm just going to let you do what you're going to do. You know, I knew it was going to be a little bit painful, but I had too much clutter here. And so, you know, once you start taking it all down, it looked a little naked for a while. You know, it's like, okay, just one large wall. So now I wouldn't see it any other way. You know, it's really weird. So it was really kind of good therapy, you know, studio therapy for me.
Can you swing your computer around to your right there and just show us? You're on your big Mac, aren't you?
It's a little bit of a mess in here because I've been doing a lot of
well, come on, show us your mess. We'll accept your excuse, but it's a fantastic space. See all the junk on the floor, that's not normally there, and the spotlights aren't on, I can see, so we haven't got all the spotlights. It is. Yeah, switch them on, just show us. But it is a great space. I can see that you're, and you've got a projector, and you project 10-foot size things, and
that thing?
It's a really great space, and it's just one big space. So it's really impressive when you walk in. But yeah, it's a bit of a mess. I see you sorting out stuff to sell. Yeah, but normally it doesn't look like that. That's for sure. It looks when I left it, Warren, it looked good.
So all that
so
mess
what are you doing?
all that mess is me literally going through all the stuff, all the junk in the studio.
Yeah.
So pretty much that's all going down to the recycling.
And I helped you load the recycle bin when I was there. So have you found more stuff, have you?
I wish I'd taken a picture of you in the trash.
Well, I was in the trash, you're right. I was in the trash. So we got rid of some stuff, yeah. And that was important. It cleans your head as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, like a suggestion you had was, you know, to put the light stands on wheels. So I actually went ahead and got that.
Right.
So they're much easier to move around. We worked on the lighting as well.
We did some different lighting.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. So the other thing is to work on your social media. I know people have a lot of trouble with social media. We're actually doing some testing now at promoting and advertising on Instagram stories and Facebook stories. A really calculated advertisement methodology, but we're testing it as we do. Because I have many clients around the world, we're able to test it on a worldwide basis, and it's the same, you know, wherever you are in the world, whether you're in England, in the States, Singapore, Canada, Mexico, whatever, it's still the same. Never make the excuse that wondering whether it'll work where you are, whether you're in a small country town or whatever. yes,
Yeah.
it can work. You just have to make it work. In my business, I was in a small town, which was about 45 minutes to an hour drive to the nearest city. And I was very successful in my little community there. And as I expanded, I just moved closer to the city and ended up with a big studio close to the city. So you can make it work. So
that's one thing that I never realized until I started having my coaching, mentoring with you, was that geography doesn't matter. Like wherever we are in the world, applying the same techniques works.
Yeah, and the same business plans. Yeah.
It's your mindset actually that is the thing you need to work on.
Yeah. I'll just answer a question from Celie. Hi, Celie. I hope you're well there. But she's just asking good product people for display books to be printed, and I know that I've always worked with Blurb.com and blurb.com.au, and the other one. There's a lot of them out there now, but I can't go past Blurb, mainly because you can preview your book online, and you can sell it online via Blurb. You can set your own price, and you can sell it on Amazon via Blurb. So you don't have to go through any process to try and get it on Amazon. You can do it directly from Blurb. It's just they take a little bit of commission here and there, but yeah,
and you can do layout.
You can do the layout. You can do your layouts in different with different software, or you use their software, which is Bookwrite, and then just upload it. You can use 4 different papers, and you can have a hardcover, soft cover. They do lots of different formats. So I'm a big fan of Blurb. I've done lots of books that way. So
for clients, I actually kind of love Graphy Studios. They've got amazing customer service. They literally will phone you and just kind of walk you through it all, check in with you.
Yeah, well, Celia's also asking books for clients. And
yeah.
She does a leather-bound book with hard pages, which she was getting in Singapore because she lived in Singapore for many years. But look, all the manufacturers now are pretty good. Who would you use for a book? I assume a book is an album, you mean, Celia, for clients? Who do you use, Warren?
So if I was creating like an album or say a guest book, an engagement book, that kind of thing, I'd actually use Miller's Lab here in the US. Really fast turnaround, and if they screw up, they actually will next day it to you. They'll fix the problem at no cost. Amazing, actually. And then for the higher end clients, I'll use Graphic Studios. Very different product in terms of the covers, really, is where they focus on, and the packaging. Yeah,
Celia's saying in Australia, well, Graphic Studios pretty good. Their products are made in Italy if you want a quality product. But you've got Celdex, of course, local manufacturer here in Australia.
Queensbury, I guess, in New Zealand.
Well, Queensbury in New Zealand, at the higher end. But I look at Graphy if I was in Melbourne, go and see Annie, Yervan's wife, and it's a good idea because you can go and see Yervan's studio because he's got all the products there, and it's fantastic just to be in that space.
Stunning.
Graphy is GRAPHI.
I'll type it in the window here.
Oh, good on you. Thanks, Graphy Studio. Yeah, thanks for that. So we work on fine-tune your post-production, of course, so you can work out your post-production, get a lot quicker with what you do, and look, anything's possible. Take my newborn baby photographer who was taking 4 hours for the shoots, who was taking 2 hours to cull and edit, and then taking another 1.5 hours to do the sales. We trimmed all that down. We trimmed it down totally. So now she does the shoot, there's half an hour break, and then she does the sales straight after.
Mm-hmm.
So you think how much that's improved the business. You think how much more she can do. And you've done the same, right, Warren? So,
So it's life-changing.
Life-changing. So you do the shoot, half-hour break while you do the culling, any post-production that you may want to do. Then you do your slide presentation and do your sales, and bang, in and out in 2 hours. So think how many you can do a day.
It's really a case of how much do you want to do per day. You know, I think my sweet spot is like, I love to just do 2 of those per day, because I do kind of get a little tired because you're sweating. Like, you're just trying to get that all done in 30 minutes, you know, in that break.
Well,
but you know, do 3 or 4 a day, you know.
Celia's asking, so don't the kids hang around and get annoying? Like, you've got one big open space. What do you do with the kids? And this is a question I get all the time.
Yeah, so where I am based is downtown in Cary, North Carolina. And around me is a bunch of stuff that I recommend to my clients. I'll say, hey, go check out the candy store or the bakeries. There's a few parks here, and I've checked them out. There's one that's good for dogs. They can literally just walk up and down this little main street here, and they are perfectly happy to go outside. Now, if it's a bad day, we're under a canopy system here, so they could literally just go to the candy store, get some air, load up the car. By the time they've done all that faffing around and they come back in, I'm pretty much ready.
So what do you do with the kids?
So during the presentation with the kids, what I found works the best, and the way we have the couches set up now, is have the kids sit there with some games, and usually it's an iPhone, right, or an Android, right, and they're watching YouTube for kids, or they're playing some games. Keep the volume down, you know, less candy, I'd say, you know. And
I think the thing is, parents know what to do with the kids to shut them up, right, for an hour. They just give them a headset, plug it in the phone and say, sit there and shut up, and they'll stay there for days. If you left, you probably have kids left at your studio sometimes.
Usually a few boys. I'm like, a random shoe, what's this? The thing that, I mean, it's not a perfect world, right? You do get a situation where the kid is just not having it, you know, and the poor old mom or the parents are trying to handle that. And so you just got to be really patient. And you know, show some sympathy for that situation. Just let them handle it. Let the parents handle it. And you can still get a good sale. You just got to show willing, you know, and just be sympathetic to what's going on.
I think the thing is, it's about change. We're in an industry which, you know, why I came up with this concept and why we've sort of perfected it about doing the sales straight after. I was 50 years ago getting families to come back a week later to look at the photographs. And I thought, gosh, we haven't progressed in 50 years about the way we do things, about the processes. We're going to have to step out of the box, you know, and start to do things a bit differently. And the response we got from everybody, from all my photographers that are doing it, it's been fantastic. People love it. And everything you expect doesn't happen generally. In other words, the clients prefer it when you tell them this. Oh, really? We much prefer to see them straight after. And the sales are a little bit higher, and it takes less time.
My average went up from 12 to 1,800 just by doing same day sales. And I was floored, you know, because you think during the month, you know, you're not doing all that well, you know, but it's really important to keep a spreadsheet, which I learned a little ways on. But it's really cool to kind of see how you're doing. And that's really your meter, your speedometer, as you were, as to how you're dealing with your business.
Yeah,
And
and certainly you have to work on that, but that's the methodology we're using. And certainly you
mhm,
wouldn't put them online because we know online doesn't work. It's
it's
not
awful.
it, you know,
Yeah.
it's not the best
Uh,
to in-person sales. So it's a matter of learning new skills, doing things differently, doing things more productively, doing them in less time, etc., etc. So, I mean, if I can do that with a newborn photographer, which sort of traditionally takes a long time for the shoot, and a long time for the culling, and a long time for the sale, we've nailed that within 2 hours. She can do a newborn shoot now and a sale, and then get on with another one. So it
right.
means we can grow her business where before it was very difficult, and we had to overcome that. So we can look at different ways of doing things. Um, more testimonials. You spoke about that, which is great. Improve your current skills with online courses. I'd suggest to any photographer, don't put more effort, or at least 50% in learning the business side of things. If you're going to learn, learn business things, read business books. Don't watch
Right.
photographers. Photographers, get into the business side of things, not the photography side of things. So, if you want to watch things on business and processes, etc. Um, Setting up third-party affiliates. I know that we're doing that. I know a lot of my clients are building lists of local businesses. We've got an email that we can send out to businesses to look at using a gift certificate, having them as affiliates. So this is the time you can do that. Although the businesses may be closed, at least
Mhm.
they're around. The other thing which I didn't mention to you, Warren, but we must work on is to enter photography competitions. And if you
Right.
just Google photography competitions, there are so many out there, and they're offering cash prizes. Some of them, there's a $5,000 first prize or a $4,000. The thing is, if you don't enter, you'll never win. But if you look at previous
Right.
winners, quite often you go, gee, I could have taken that. Yeah, but you didn't. And you
Yeah.
didn't enter, so you'll never
Right.
win.
Yeah.
So, and entering competitions is good for your ego. It's also good to have a certificate on the wall to give you credibility and trust and things like that. But also, the cash is pretty cool. Hey,
Yeah.
I found a website called photocrowd.com, photocrowd.com/photo competitions, and they list heaps of different competitions you can enter. And the worldphoto.org, the Sony World Photography Awards,
Hmm.
they're a big one as well. And there's Photo Contest Guru. So there's things like that you can, you know, um, enter. And look, what have you got to lose?
I
Uh,
think it's also good for your technical skills, so and just getting your creative mind going. I used to enter WPPI, and there was like some other one that was over in Australia. It's just fun. Like it doesn't cost a lot of money
as
to enter.
well. Yeah. And it's all online.
Yeah,
So it's all easy. You don't have to sort of worry about it or stress over it. It can be done so easily. So yeah, enter as many competitions. Read books on business. I know Warren and I are reading Known, which is about
yeah,
branding. The book's called Known, Known, Known. That's a good book. It looks
great.
at branding from a different perspective. It's about getting out there. It's about being known for something. So when people speak about your business behind your back, what do they say about you?
Mhm.
And you've got to be known for something. And write a book or write some ebooks. There's plenty of resources out there that you can use to get little ebooks written. Um, there's plenty of Warren. Can you put up up there the B4U resources? Capital B for U. Is that
Uh,
what it's called? That's one of
you
the.
want me to put that, you say?
Yeah. Just what's the link?
Oh, let me have a look. Hold on.
be for you. Those resources are very cheap. You can get all sorts of things like blogs written for you and brochures designed, whatever, wedding blogs written. So there's all of that can be done. I'll just find it if you can't.
Yeah, let me have a quick look here. Hold on.
So there's lots of things that you can do there to keep things moving and learning. But the important thing, I think, is to do something. Most of my clients at present are running a winner family portrait competition on Facebook, and look to the wedding photographers out there, run a competition and win a fantastic engagement session value, £600 or $600 or whatever, and this will get you leads. Because weddings are in the future, maybe next year, maybe later this year, you can still get the leads. We're still running ads. We're still running Bernie style Facebook ads and still getting leads and booking people for June, July. One of my clients has got 52 sessions booked for July, right?
Wow.
So we haven't stopped. We haven't gone stop. No, we can still get leads in the future using, our methodologies. So those are things we can do. Certainly get a winner. Most of my clients are doing both those things. We're doing our ads on Facebook, plus we're running a competition. So we're still getting leads for the future. So the other thing, of course, before we go, and I don't want this to drag on because I know most of you are keen to get back and see what the president said today. So what you should also do is what Warren said. He learned, don't live above your means. Don't spend your money. We've learned that, right? We've got to live a little more frugally, maybe, and not have this excess like 14 lenses and 5 bodies and all of that. We've got to be a bit more frugal with our money to get us.
Just because Amazon can do same-day delivery doesn't mean you need to order anything. I think
my daughter that.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of fun to try it out, but I think really, like right now, because we are restricted with movement, it is making us think about how we spend our money. Yeah. So in theory, you should be spending a little bit less right now. I think
I've taken the opportunity to, while others may be eating too much, I've taken the opportunity to lose a bit of weight, and I'm doing good. So I'm not eating. I'm not overeating. I set myself a challenge to lose weight during this time, where I don't exercise so much, where I'm sitting around a lot more.
Do you have a sweet tooth, perchance?
I do like chocolate, but chocolate apparently is good. It gets your metabolism working quicker, and so it burns a lot of fat and does give you energy. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with pair it with coffee, chocolate and coffee, bang. So there's lots we can do. So I want to close up now and just thank everybody for coming. It's been fantastic. I think Warren Seeley says she's got 9 hard drives to go through.
I just saw that.
Any tips?
Yeah, so basically, basically all I did was even if your computer's broken, you can take the hard drive out of the computer and stick it in a portable reader. Get them on Amazon, they're real easy. So you can just read the hard drive, just go through. Basically, I just looked at the files in terms of when I last used it. So I had the idea of when was, like when you look at your closet, when did I last wear that jacket? If it wasn't in the last 6 to maybe 12 months, you don't really need it, right? Unless it's a client that is still an open record, or some files that you still kind of want for whatever reason.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Don't be afraid to chuck stuff out.
Just chuck it away. And I literally got this really cool Western Digital 8 terabytes. They're called My Books. And then I have it mirrored to Backblaze. So super cheap, and just dump it all on there. And then as you go through, you can just kind of like maybe even cull some more. So don't expect to do this overnight. It did take me a good few days actually to go through the 40 terabytes that I had.
Yeah, just drop that in the chat box what those things that you used were.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, we've got to close. So thanks for coming, and Warren, thanks for your time again. And
Oh, you're welcome, buddy. It's my pleasure.
And of course,
Thanks for
we'll see you at our regular 1-hour coaching session next week.
Yes.
And I'll keep pushing you forward, and we'll keep going. We'll keep going, and we'll get this car really primed and on the starting line, and you'll be revving it, and you're going to fly.
It's going through a deep service right now.
Okay. All right. Thanks for showing everybody. I'm going to send everybody an email, by the way, because I've just opened a new membership site, so I'll let you know about that. Okay. Cheers all, and cheers, Warren. And
thanks, buddy.
See you soon.